In a world where one man discovered he had a passion for not only acting, but for saving the environment too. Leonardo DiCaprio, a well-known actor who got his start in the film What's Eating Gilbert Grape. DiCaprio played a mentally retarded young boy, and his supporting role in the film captured the hearts of the world. His advanced acting skills led to his first Oscar nomination and then a leading role in one of the highest-grossing films of all time, Titanic. Through his performance as Jack Dawson, he became millions of teenage girls' celebrity crush. So the success of this movie and his new heartthrob status brought DiCaprio's fame soaring. Because of DiCaprio's successful acting career, he landed the iconic role of Jay Gatsby in one of the most popularized books in history, The Great Gatsby. The film adaptation of the book received rave reviews and proved that after 20 years, DiCaprio was still taking on challenging and meaningful roles. His most recent performance was in The Wolf of Wall Street. He encapsulated the role as Jordan Belfort, a wealthy stockbroker. The film is based off a true story of the rise and fall of one man in the hands of corruption and crime. Through his hard work and remarkable performances on screen, we still wonder why he has yet to receive an Oscar. However, he has received many awards for his dedication and action towards saving our planet. Leonardo DiCaprio was born on November 11, 1974, in Hollywood, California. His parents divorced when DiCaprio was a year old, leaving DiCaprio to live mainly with his mother. Him and his mother lived in a very dangerous neighborhood in Hollywood, making it hard for him to leave his house sometimes. His schooling was done in Los Angeles. He liked school and thought that he'd grow up to be a marine biologist. Unfortunately, after 3 years of high school, DiCaprio dropped out of school to pursue his acting career. Eventually, he received his GED. Throughout his childhood, DiCaprio starred in multiple commercials at the beginning of his career. He eventually gained special guest roles on various television series, such as Roseanne, The New Lassie, and he gained a recurring role on Growing Pains. He even spent a brief amount of time on the soap opera Santa Barbara. His roles in the television series and soap opera led to DiCaprio receiving nominations for the Young Artist Award for Best Young Actor. DiCaprio has always had a passion for saving the environment. In the late 1990s, Leonardo used his fame to create the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation. His organization is dedicated to protecting Earth's last wild places and implementing solutions that create a harmonious relationship between humanity and the natural world.
Leonardo DiCaprio would be considered a part of the celebrity activist model. Birmingham and Laquire refer to him as the celebrity's first environmentalist. DiCaprio grew up acting, but has been a committed environmentalist for a very long time. He has used his celebrity status and personal wealth to create awareness and support for his causes that he cares about. Through the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, he has been able to raise millions of dollars for the environment, as well as giving over $15 million worth of grants to support innovative, results-driven projects in the world's most wild and threatened ecosystems. DiCaprio is able to bring about awareness to environmental organizations besides his own, partly because of his fan base. People who are not normally eco-friendly or environmentally aware become so because they like DiCaprio as a person and an actor. There can be a downside to this. When celebrities show inconsistent attitudes or behaviors in public, this could create a negative effect on their organizations. Fortunately, DiCaprio proves that he feels very strongly about saving the environment through the tons of presentations and lectures he gives on climate change, fossil fuels, protecting biodiversity, and ocean and forest conservation yearly. He attends various charity events, including hosting his own for the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation annually. Also, he commits himself to use less fossil fuels by driving a Toyota Prius. DiCaprio has a positive influence on both the public and his celebrity friends, urging them to also join the eco-friendly path. It is very evident that the environment is not just a cause of the day for DiCaprio. He is committed and dedicated to raising awareness of the threats to our environment. Leonardo DiCaprio can also be described as a charismatic leader. A charismatic leader is made up of three main components: envisioning, energizing, and enabling. Through DiCaprio's impressive communication skills, he has been able to articulate a vision into his audience as well as express confidence in their contributions and potential to serve the environment. We especially see DiCaprio's charismatic leadership through his speeches he makes. He is able to mesmerize a crowd with his confidence and knowledge on the topic of the environment. Most recently, he gave a speech at the opening of Climate Summit 2014 as the United Nations Messenger of Peace for Climate Change.
Before you, not as an expert, but as a concerned citizen. One of the 400,000 people who marched in the streets of New York on Sunday, and the billions of others around the world who want to solve our climate crisis. As an actor, I pretend for a living. I play fictitious characters, often solving fictitious problems. I believe that mankind has looked at climate change in that same way, as if it were a fiction, as if pretending that climate change wasn't real would somehow make it go away. But I think we all know better than that now. Every week we're seeing new and undeniable climate events, evidence that accelerated climate change is here right now. Droughts are intensifying, our oceans are acidifying, with methane plumes rising up from the ocean floor. We are seeing extreme weather events and the West Antarctic and Greenland ice sheets melting at unprecedented rates, decades ahead of scientific projections. None of this is rhetoric, and none of it is hysteria. It is fact. The scientific community knows it, industry knows it, governments know it, even the United States military knows it. The chief of the U.S. Navy's Pacific Command, Admiral Samuel Locklear, recently said that climate change is our single greatest security threat. My friends, this body, perhaps more than any other gathering in human history, now faces this difficult but achievable task. You can make history, or you will be vilified by it. To be clear, this is not about just telling people to change their light bulbs or to buy a hybrid car. This disaster has grown beyond the choices that individuals make. This is now about our industries and our governments around the world taking decisive, large-scale action. Now must be our moment for action. We need to put a price tag on carbon emissions and eliminate government subsidies for oil, coal, and gas companies. We need to end the free ride that industrial polluters have been given in the name of a free market economy. They do not deserve our tax dollars. They deserve our scrutiny, for the economy itself will die if our ecosystems collapse. The good news is that renewable energy is not only achievable, but good economic policy. This is not a partisan debate, it is a human one. Clean air and a livable climate are inalienable human rights. And solving this crisis is not a question of politics, it is a question of our own survival. This is the most urgent of times and the most urgent of messages. Honored delegates, leaders of the world, I pretend for a living, but you do not. The people made their voices heard on Sunday around the world, and the momentum will not stop. But now it is your turn. The time to answer humankind's greatest challenge is now. We beg of you to face it with courage and honesty. Thank you.
This and other speeches help demonstrate not only his charisma, but also that he is a direct leader. Howard Gardner classifies a direct leader as someone who exerts influence through their organizations and institutions. DiCaprio has used his foundation as a platform to increase the awareness of protecting biodiversity, oceans conservation, wildlands conservation, and climate change. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of few celebrities that dedicates himself to a cause that he is passionate about. He uses his fame to attract people to his cause, but then he does much more to get them to become active in protecting the environment. An environmental leader instills a vision into their followers, and that is exactly what DiCaprio is doing. He uses his vast knowledge of the subject to empower his followers to take their own measures in protecting the environment. He helps them figure out what environmental cause is most important to them, and then how they can take action. December 2015 will be an important month for DiCaprio because he will be a representative at the 21st session of the Conference of the Parties, which is the United Nations Conference on Climate Change. This conference is an annual meeting where countries seek to take action in protecting the climate. He will be addressing his concern for the environment along with other environmental activists and world leaders. It doesn't look like DiCaprio will be calling it quits anytime soon, at least not until the world is on its way to being more environmentally aware and eco-friendly. Since it will be a long time until that happens, DiCaprio will continue to speak to audiences worldwide and urge people to go out and help create a more sustainable planet. He may be a celebrity, but he has just as many awards for his dedication to protecting our planet, proving that he is a powerful and effective environmental activist and leader.